Heat number one of the women's 1500 in the water. Brinkley Hansen, the 15-year-old from St. Petersburg Aquatics in 0. Denise Ayrton of Sun Devil Swimming, she's in 1. Kayla Hahn of La Mirada Armada, the 16-year-old in lane 2. Kate Hurst of Longhorn Aquatics in lane 3. And then, of course, the reigning Olympic gold medalist and world record holder in lane 4, the Gator Swim Club 28-year-old Katie Ledecky. In lane 5 alongside Ledecky is Longhorn Aquatics' Jillian Cox. Crystal Cobrish of Chile, the 39-year-old, still rocking in lane 6. Caroline Pennington of the TAC Titans in lane 7. Michaela Mattis of the University of Florida in lane 8. And the Sarasota Sharks' Abby Dunford is in lane number 9. That's 100 meters. It's a 58.5 for Ledecky, wasting absolutely no time to get out very quickly here. The opening 100 meters of this 1500 freestyle. 30 links of the pool in the 1500 this evening. That's how it's always swum, and that's how we're going to do it this evening. Ledecky, the owner of the world record, the American record, all the records, including the Pro Swim Series record, which happens to be the world record, so you never know what you could find on a night like tonight. Ledecky 15:20:48 back in 2018 at the TYR Pro Swim Series stop. Ledecky also the owner of the world junior record, as she'll flip, continuing to be in first at a 2:00:06. It's actually under her world record pace. Of course, far too early to call it anything right now. Cox out in a 2:06:57. She's in second, and Cox is about 2 seconds up on her lifetime best. 16:07:29 her PR, which came last summer at the Speedo Summer Championships out in Irvine, California. We can do all sorts of math to break this up. So this is a fifth of the way through this 1500. Ledecky, a 3:02:27, continues to be under that lifetime best. Has done this before, taking it out real quick at a stop like this, only to put it into cruise control maybe at the 800-meter mark. Cox at a 3:11:16, sits in second, continues to be well under lifetime best pace, and she's got to keep an eye on Michaela Mattis in lane 8. The University of Florida 20-year-old. It was a 3:12:5 at the 300. She, too, right on that lifetime best pace. She swam that best time back in 2022 in Greensboro, North Carolina at the International Team Trials. 16:23:44 her PR. Always a really telling sign where we're at the 400. Ledecky looking right at a 4:04, maybe 4:05. It's a 4:04:75. And at 400 meters, it's time to start pointing out we're under world record pace right now for Ledecky. It's her own pace. Still a ways to go, but looking very strong right now through 400 meters is Ledecky, as is Cox in lane 5. 4:15:45 for her. 4 seconds under that lifetime best. 16:07:29 is Jillian Cox's PR in the 1500. 500 meters down for Ledecky. It's a 5:07:33. Falling off that world record pace just a little bit, about a half a second off. Jillian Cox, considerable lead ahead of the rest of the field, but also a considerable gap between her and the GOAT of distance freestyle, Ledecky. .600 meters now, 6:09.24 for Ledecky. Continues right at about a half a second to a full second off of PR, which of course is the world record pace. Cox is going to flip at a 6:24.69. That continues to be about 5 seconds up on her PR. Jillian Cox, who's in the top 20 performers all time in American history with that lifetime best at the Speedo Summer Champs, 19th in American history. Only 9 women in American history have ever broken the 16-minute mark, of course led by Ledecky's 15:20.48. Into this wall and down to the far side, and Ledecky will hit that halfway point of this 1500. 7:10.8 at the 700, and still 0.7 of a second right now off of world record pace is Ledecky. When you talk about absolute dominance, you have to go to the 22nd fastest swim in history before you see another name that's not Katie Ledecky. No one within 18 seconds in history of that woman in lane 4 coming in for the 800-meter mark is Ledecky. When she set the world record back in 2018, she was an 8:11.7. She's been holding about 30.8 to 30.6s here. Very, very consistent, as has been her career. She flips a 31.0, 8:12.7, exactly a second off of that world record pace. Now with 700 meters to go is Ledecky. Jillian Cox, Longhorn Aquatics, the 19-year-old in lane 5, has about 4 or 5 body lengths of a lead over Michaela Mattis. Mattis is now keeping a close eye on the 16-year-old, Kayla Hahn of La Mirada Armada in lane 2. Kayla Hahn's lifetime best in this event, a 16:09.37. Or excuse me, 16:16.94. Has her as the 15th fastest 16 and under in American history. Looking to improve on that. Ledecky at the 900, a 9:14, right at 1 second off of that world record pace. We've settled in to match world record splits 50 by 50. We're coming up on the final 500 meters the next time Ledecky hits this finish wall, and we're going to have to start taking this threat seriously as Ledecky on her way to easily one of the most impressive performances in world history right now. Unbelievable times being swum by Ledecky. Your Olympic gold medalist in the 1500 and 800. So here's 1,000 meters. Ledecky makes the turn at 10:15.96. And again, we're exactly 1.1 second off of the world record pace. 10:15.9, 500 meters to go for Ledecky. What'd you do on your Wednesday night? Oh, nothing. I just went and watched the greatest of all time go turn in one of the fastest swims of all time in the 1500 in unbelievable dominance that continues to be unmatched. Ledecky a 31.0 needs to get those splits under 31 yet again if she's going to threaten her own world record. But right now she's on pace to turn in one of the top 5 fastest swims in world history in lane 4 here in Fort Lauderdale. Ledecky's lifetime best came at the Pro Series in Indianapolis, but that was back in 2018. The fastest she's been since then was at the 2023 World Championships at a 15:26. She's under that pace right now, potentially on her way to her fastest swim since she set this world record. Ledecky at 11:18.2 at the 1100 meter mark. Jillian Cox continues to have a fantastic swim of her own brewing right now. 11:46 at the 1100. Puts her about 6 seconds, maybe on her way to her first sub-16 swim of her career. Big things happening night 1 of the Fort Lauderdale Pro Swim Series. A new third place happened while we were watching Ledecky absolutely run away with it. That's Kate Hurst in lane 3. Hurst of Longhorn Aquatics, 16:09.37, a lifetime best, came at the World Junior Championships in 2023. But it's Katie Ledecky, 12:20.43, off of that world record pace, but like I said, on track to post one of the top 5 swims in world history, or right around there. Jillian Cox trying to become Jillian Cox trying to become the 10th woman in American history to break 16 minutes. She's right on that pace. 12:51.49 at the 1200. Falling off maybe just by a quarter of a second or a half of a second. It's going to be really close for Jillian Cox. Ledecky coming up on her final 200 meters now in lane number 4 and doing something that we have seen all too much in her career. Pulling up on world-class athletes as if they're not moving. These are some of the best swimmers in the United States, nay, the whole world, and Ledecky 25 meters ahead of her next closest competition as her and Jillian Cox pass going opposite directions. Now 50-plus meters ahead of Jillian Cox as Ledecky hits her 13:50 while Cox hits her 1300 at 13:56. Cox is going to need a really strong finish to get under that 16-minute mark, holding 33.5s, fading just a little bit. Katie Ledecky gets the bell. Final 100 meters for the world record holder. 14:24.32 for her. Just about 3.5 seconds off of world record pace. We're not going to see a world record, but we're going to see an absolutely mind-boggling swim here from Ledecky. Second fastest swim in world history is a 15:25.48. Could we see something under that swim? Ledecky a 30.5. She's under the pace for the second fastest swim in world history. Could she be within shouting distance of her own world record? 28 years old and still dropping jaws across the sport. Here comes Ledecky into her final 10 meters. And she will touch with a blistering 15:24.51, her second fastest swim of her career. Fastest she has been since 2018. The second fastest time in world history, ladies and gentlemen. Jillian Cox down to her final 25 meters. Lifetime best of 16:07.29. That's going to be long gone for Jillian Cox. She will touch at a 16:04.13, a best for Jillian Cox by over 3 seconds. Your third place is going to belong to her Longhorn teammate, Kate Hurst, in lane 3. Hurst touches at a 16:14.26. Rounding out the top 3 for your 1500. Fort Lauderdale, let's make some noise for this Heat 1 1500, including your world record holder and performer of the second fastest swim in world history this evening, 15:24.51 for Katie Ledecky. Our next event of the evening is event number 2, the men's